We had a late night last night. We finished up the Southern Conference tournament, which was held here in Boone. First off, I want to say to our fans and that were there in attendance and those following online, we really appreciate your support. And it's been a great tournament and year when you look in the stands and see just how many App State fans that we have. Just want to hit on some highlights from this weekend. I mean, I think overall. We obviously wanted to win the tournament. That was our goal going in, and we were not excited about taking second. But when you take the emotion out of it and you look at how we wrestled, we actually wrestled really well this weekend. Just a couple of things. We had 4 Southern Conference champions, the most since 2003. So it's been a long time since we've had that many individual conference champions. We've got 5 guys right now that are qualified automatically to the NCAA tournament next week in Minneapolis, and I think there's a good chance we may get one more. So if we send 6 guys to the national tournament, that would be a record, definitely in my tenure here and moving forward. Some other things. I mean, we scored 102 points in the tournament yesterday, and no one scored 100 points and not won the tournament since 1975. So I think that speaks to the kind of day we had yesterday. We had 9 wrestlers that placed in the top 3 in their weight class. And, all in all, we actually wrestled a really good tournament. A couple of highlights from the tournament. You look at Matt Zavostowski, won his 2nd Southern Conference championship in his time here as a senior, and was very dominant from his first match all the way through the finals, dominating the finals. I think he won by a minimum of 7 points in all his matches. And then Kerry Miller had to beat, the number 14th ranked kid in the country to win his 2nd Southern Conference title. And really, when it was a battle against Campbell, winning against Campbell for him, that was a very emotional moment. And, avenging, 2 losses earlier to that wrestler. John Milner dominated another nationally ranked opponent in the finals, and he's 31-4 on the year, having just a phenomenal redshirt sophomore campaign. And then I'll speak a little bit about Damasio Samuel. First tournament he's ever won in his whole career at Appalachian State. Of all the opens, of all the things he's competed in the last 4 years, it's the first tournament he's ever won. And what a moment for him to, rise to the occasion. So really proud of those guys. Thomas Flitz qualified a bid, automatically, but then had to wrestle a true second after getting upset in the finals. And, really had to dig down deep, but won a really, a tough match in that true second match. And so that was just another moment that I was really, really proud of him and, getting his spot, secured to the NCAA tournament next week in Minneapolis and securing that 5th automatic qualifier for our program. And so, Kerry Miller, for his effort, was awarded the most outstanding wrestler of the conference tournament. So, that was just another thing, great accolade for him, and just another great way to kind of go, finish up his career. And, the great thing about it is if you look at these guys that we have qualified right now that are definitely going to Minneapolis, all 5 of them can do, great things at the national tournament. I don't think any of them will be happy just getting there. And I think for the first time realistically since, 2016 when we had Denzel All-American, I think we got guys that I think have a great chance of, being an All-American at the NCAA tournament. When you look at the, already mentioned that the tournament yesterday, we scored 102 points, which is the most of anyone, a second-place team since 1975. Guys wrestled really well. 9 out of 10 placed in top 3. Really the separating difference, really in the whole tournament was the first round. Those bonus points that Campbell scored in the first round really, kind of separated them. I think we were down by 11 points after that first round. And really just had a hard time making up that margin. We met them yesterday 7 times head-to-head, and we ended up winning 4 of those contests. And, so all in all, I think our guys did, about, what we thought it would take to win the tournament. And, really proud of them for that. And the biggest thing I'll say, and the last thing I'll say before I open up for questions, I think if if you look at our guys and the way those 10 wrestlers represented our program and our university, they represent, with class, and that's the thing I'm most proud of. Even our champions and the guys that, did a lot of great things yesterday. I think I'm also proud of just the way they handled themselves and the way they are as young men and the way they represent our program. So with that, that's just a little recap from the conference tournament, and looking forward to the NCAA championships in Minneapolis. I'll open it up for a couple of questions.
Coach, you mentioned Thomas dropping the final, but then winning that match to get the second automatic berth. I know these guys wrestle in tournament formats where it's kind of rapid fire, but in that setting where you lose, I guess, mentally and physically to put it out there in a final and then have to come back for that, is that even a tougher situation to kind of get refocused, either just mentally or physically, for a guy like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at, it's just hard when you build yourself up for the finals. I mean, you want to be a conference champion and you wrestle in that finals match. And if it doesn't go your way and you get upset like Thomas did, it's emotionally, it's hard to get back up again, where you think that, man, I'm going from wanting to be a conference champion to, oh, now I've got to wrestle someone that's coming fresh out of the consolations and I've got to win this match or I may not go to the national tournament. It's a hard thing to come back from, and I think that's why you saw, like at 149 yesterday, the kid from Chattanooga, Tanner Smith, I mean, he's been a really good wrestler, ranked inside the top 20, just behind John all year, but then loses to, John for the third time this year, and then he has to go back and wrestle right away and wasn't able to get his bid, and hopefully he'll get an at-large bid for the conference, but it's just a tough thing to do, and I think, Thomas Flitz has battled a lot of adversity in his career so far, and I think those adversities have made him and molded him into the competitor he is now.
You mentioned DiMaggio winning his first ever tournament of any kind. Just kind of elaborate on the path that allowed him to be a conference champion as a senior for a guy who wasn't in the lineup a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think that had the potential to get a lot of negative, feedback for us making that lineup change as late as we did in the season. I think there were a lot of people that questioned whether that was the right move. To be quite honest with you, I mean, I think Paul had beaten DiMaggio in a match before and probably had finished ahead of him in a couple of tournaments. But when you looked at the entire body of work and, who we kind of thought at that point in the year could get it done, we kind of felt like, as a staff, that DiMaggio gave us the best chance to win the tournament at that weight class, and we knew we needed to win that weight class at 197 to give ourselves a chance to win the team title. And in our program, it's not, we don't determine who the starter is based on how they do against each other. It's more about common opponents and that kind of thing. And we felt like DiMaggio, if he got in our lineup and was given a chance and we were able to focus on him for a little, probably the last 6 weeks, we really felt like he gave us a good chance to be a conference champion and put himself in that situation. And I think it was a good coaching move. Obviously, it was the right move. And, I'm excited for him and taking him out to Minneapolis. I think he could surprise a lot of people. And he's not on a lot of people's radar, but he's a tremendous athlete. And he didn't just eke out wins at the conference tournament. I mean, he dominated. And so really proud of him for that. And, hats off for him to, stay in the course and giving himself an opportunity.
I guess just last one, can you explain a little bit this week's process of how at-large berths kind of get determined and kind of where you stand on there? You mentioned, possibly one, maybe two, but more likely maybe one berth.
Yeah, after the tournament last night, I had hopes that we could possibly have a chance of getting 2 more. And typically what happens is the NCAA, they divvy up the either 28 or 29 automatic qualifiers in each weight of the 33. And then so there's either 5 or 4 at-large bids up for grabs after the conference championships. I thought going into the tournament, that our 125, Sean Carter and Cody Russell both had a chance of getting at-large bids had they, if they didn't, win the tournament. But after looking at how all the other conferences shook out, typically those at-large bids go to the guys who qualified the bids but maybe got upset in their conference tournament. Unfortunately at 125, there was a ton of upsets this weekend. I think I counted 8 automatic qualifiers that didn't secure their spots for only 5 bids. So those are probably who those are going to get those bids first. Now at 133, there was only 3 guys of the 4 available that qualified bids that did not secure their spots. So there's still a spot open for someone that didn't qualify an automatic bid. And Cody Russell, I think, was just that guy that was just one out from qualifying an automatic bid anyway. He's got wins over 2 automatic qualifiers, so I think he's got a realistic chance of getting that at-large bid, which would push us to 6 qualifiers, and that would just be really something we'd be excited about.